Hi, welcome to our Zoom group. These are the lovely Erin followers. And tonight we're going to have a channeling session, and I allow energy to pass through me. It turns into a message and they have a conversation. If you're on the YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe. And if you're on the Facebook page, welcome. And that's about it. So Jordan is going to play the bowl for us tonight, or ring the note, I guess we call it. And I'll step aside and then we'll have a conversation. Okay. Go ahead, Jordan. This is very good to play a note that settles your system down. Your energy level settles into the same note as is being heard. So all of your systems calm down. It's important to be aware that you have energy that moves through you and responds to notes, which is just energy that is vibrating. Your human body responds to emotions as well from others, which is energy. So there are many forms of energy that pass through humans. And it's important for you to take note of how your body responds to the energy coming from others, or notes such as this. So when you are showing up in your day-to-day life, you are more than you appear. So it's important to take note of your entire self, which contains energy, eternal energy, and your physical experience, and your brain and ego, which carry the memories of the life that you are living now and create an agenda, and you live your life through it. So all of these things make up a human experience. But with the note, we begin our exchange. Where shall we begin?
Hi, Erin.
Hello.
I had a really great day today, and after you and I had a one-on-one session yesterday, so it was all about energy, and I feel that a lot of my questions initially have been answered, feeling very, centered. And I guess I'm just wondering if you can tell us a bit about energy, or anything that might come to mind, because I don't have a question off the top of my head, and I thought I would ask.
So when you say that you are having a pleasant day, a nice day, a fun day, that means you have been in alignment. For when you are in alignment, you are in an easy life. And an easy life is always joyful, no matter what happens, because you can giggle or find some sort of happy point in whatever comes your way. So when you say these words, it's important for you to understand what they mean. They are not spoken lightly. Humans use them in a very easy way. I had a good day, I had a nice day. But what are you truly saying? You're saying that in comparison, there are also bad days. So when you say I had a good day, that means you might also have a bad day. What if you had a day? A day in human existence. What about that? What if it was just a day and it would continue on in the same sort of manner, day after day after day after day, neither good nor bad, just peaceful, contented in this way? So even though you say, I had a good day, which is the response humans like to hear from one another. They don't like to hear you have a bad day, then they will try to fix you or help you or something. So when you say, I do understand what we mean by this comparison. If you say good, there must be bad.
I do, yes.
So what do you think of this notion that every day will be a fine day when you're in alignment? Because they'll all be similar. You will not be so good and bad. Does that appeal to you at all as a human, to live somewhere in the middle all of the time? Or is that a notion that is distasteful to you?
It appeals to me. And as I think about it, the past few days have been, or the past number of days have been more peaceful, if you will. However, I always pause because human interaction, the external, I think about driving down the road or driving to work. There might be someone who cuts me off, and there goes, that might be just something that affects my day or something external. But it's a reminder, though, to myself too about being in alignment. Because when I thought of today as being a good day, things just flowed, and before I knew it, I was on a call here and the day just zipped right by. It flowed.
Yes. So you're in alignment, your sense of ease, you've connected with energy outside of yourself. So you're in that flow. Now, when you're in this flow and someone cuts you off, what if you stay in the flow? What if you don't decide, I think I will react to their emotion and become someone other than myself that I am at this moment? Because it's a very conscious decision on your part. So when you leave a state of ease and consciousness, that's up to you as well. It's possible to stay in this ease and contentment, this easy way of being, even when there are people standing at you yelling in your face. Do you believe this is possible for you?
I do. And then it raises another question, I guess, for me, is that I've never considered myself in alignment in the morning, if you will. I am more of an evening person, or I feel more energized, or, and so I guess are there anything that you could share about, having more ease or alignment in the morning? Just because I find that I'm tired, or, it's harder for me to get going without my caffeine, or, just to.
This is going to be a bit of a tricky answer for you to believe.
Okay.
Again, you are deciding that your human ways, we're going to say the word addiction, and because your body's craving something, and in order for your body to crave this, what you speak of, it must be tired. If it's energized, it doesn't get it. It only gets the treat, the caffeine treat, if it's tired. So therefore, you must be tired to get the treat. So what do you think of that now? We've turned it right upside down and right back into your hands. What if you deciding to be tired?
Sure.
To believe this is possible.
Yes, when you put it that way, I would.
We're difficult to disagree with for certain people, and you're one that doesn't wish to disagree. But what if you decide, I will not be having a caffeine tomorrow. Instead, I'm going to jump up out of bed and open the window and breathe in the air like this. What if you decide before you go to sleep that this will be the way you wake? For truly, it is up to you how you wake. Now,
Sure.
this can be a great debated item because humans have an idea that their body leads them. But you, your eternal self, leads the body, leads the life, leads the experience there. Now, not that your body doesn't speak to you and you must have a conversation with it and listen. We don't mean that. We don't mean to step away from your body and say you're not going to listen to it. But it is also possible for you to outsmart yourself. If you believe that you need a certain thing before you can have energy, it will be so. If you believe you do not need such a thing for energy, it will be so.
And that makes sense to me because what I've been discovering over the last little while is everything is about intention, if you will. That's the word that I've been using. Is that when I set my mind to something, and even when you talk about in the morning setting my mind that this will happen in the morning, um, all I can do is give that a go and set that intention and it will be.
That is if you don't wish to have the caffeine. If you do, you must be tired. Otherwise, you will feel a discrepancy because in your mind you think it's okay to drink that when I'm tired.
Mm,
So it will be up to you whether you actually want it or not. If you want it, you'll have to be a bit tired for it. Because when you're very hyper and excited, you don't reach for this. You reach for something else, or some water or something. You don't reach for a caffeinated beverage when you're very excited. You want to bring yourself down because you know how to play with energy in this way. When I'm down, I use external circumstances to bring myself up if I want to. And if I'm high, I bring external circumstances to bring myself down. And now you've figured out, not just you, humans have figured out they can manipulate these highs and lows artificially by using beverages and sugar, oil, certain foods. So you can artificially change your vibration. Now, there's not a judgment on that one way or the other. Just be aware that's what you're going to do and just do it. I'm very down. I'm going to use chocolate and I'm going to be high. All right, let's have the chocolate. Not a judgment of it, but just a noticing of it. And eventually you might change your mind about that. But if you're going to do it, do it. Don't do it halfway. Don't say, oh, I can't have the coffee because I'm not tired, but I wish I was tired because I want the coffee. Don't do that. Say I'm tired, I want the coffee. Whatever, it's really do whatever you want to do. Just be aware of what's happening. Then it's your life. Then you are living your life and you are responsible for it. And that leads to many other directions where you're responsible for the outcomes of your life as well. But in this moment, we're talking at the very beginning stages, which is you're responsible for your experience. How is that for you?
thank you. Yeah, that helps.
It's good?
Yeah, it is.
All right. Let us do namaste.
Okay. Namaste.
Namaste.
Good evening, Aaron.
Hello.
I have a technical question regarding the note that we were talking about earlier in the session. And I just wondered if the body has something called a harmonic frequency, like in materials, they'll vibrate. You can induce a vibration in something at specific frequencies, and different materials will have different frequencies that they have this harmonic vibration. I'm wondering if the body has a similar kind of harmonic vibration, which would suggest that there's an ideal note, perhaps, for a body for healing or to enable the energy flow.
This is slightly more complicated than you have put it in words. So there are certain humans that have decided that they will have a physical experience and will respond to energy. The energy may be contained in notes on music or emotions of others. Now, there are others who are far from that. They don't feel anything. They will not feel any energy from a note or from human emotion. They are a shadow, a distant, they have distanced themselves from their energetic self. So there are many different forms of humans walking around. So it's not possible to make a statement that applies to all. But the ones that are gathered here, that are interested in this vibration, can feel this note, because this energy is coming from, it's coming from a vibration through the throat of the speaker, but it is energy pushing forth. You can hear it because it's transformed in the vocal cords. If there were no vocal cords, there would just be straight energy. So those that are here can hear the note, and it resonates within their system. It brings them their, what is this word? A certain frequency within them that goes faster, faster, medium, medium, slow, which is why the note rings and gets louder and then softer, softer, softer. It brings certain humans who have decided it will be important in their life to a vibrational evenness, we would say. And all of a sudden, the heaviness has left. So it settles down your insides. Now, this does not work with everyone. It works with those who are interested in vibration. Now, there are others who are interested in different vibrations that are not here. They resonate with high, 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 high notes. Barely you can hear them. Sometimes only animals can hear them. So there are some who wish for these high, high notes. Some call it angelic. We're not sure why you want to know that, but those high, high notes are angelic, and those are humans that are interested in that. The humans here are not. The humans here are interested in the universe of love and how they are affected by it and how they can carry it through their human lives. So there are many different seekers and non-seekers. So there will not be one specific note that heals a broken ankle, which is really what you're getting at. You want the quick fixes all of the time. So you want to know, if I hit D, it fixes ankles. If I hit A, it cures cancer. This is what you want to know. That would be wonderful. But your life is not designed in such an easy way as this. It's tactile, needs to be felt, it needs to be experienced within. So the notes resonate faster, then go slower, slower, until they are still. And when they are still, you are still. That's absolutely not what you asked, but that is the best thing that you need to hear for this. What do you think of this answer?
It makes sense. I guess I come back to just to clarify, would different people then, because you said some people would react to high frequency notes, like would even within this,
let's just clarify. The high notes can respond with some humans positively and some negative. Same note, different humans. That just complicate matters more for you.
Well, I'm just wondering, like, if because you can get balls that provide different notes. So, how would you determine which ball has the most benefit, I guess, in the note that it provides?
For yourself?
Sure.
You go listen, you play the note, and you experience it. And when the one experience causes you to cry or laugh, that's the note for you. The one that moves you emotionally, because you react emotionally from energy. Either you react emotionally or the vibration in the speaking through the voice. So you respond emotionally to energy. That's when you know you're onto something.
Very good. That explains it. Thank you.
Let's just do namaste.
Namaste.
Hi, Erin.
Hello.
I'm not sure what to say now after our conversation last week about saying hello. I want to touch on what Samantha was talking about when it regards to food and body and emotions and how it makes you feel. And it's always been a challenge for me. So I'm just curious what you have, what you have to say for me to help me.
Well, you have experienced it firsthand. You have experienced the emotional pull of certain, it is not only foods for you, it is substances and even herbal remedies. You know what it feels like to be pulled into a place that could be dark or light, whichever one, but you know what it feels like to be pulled energetically to something where you can't resist it. Now, having said that, you also know what it's like to be pulled forward and resist it. So now you've gotten experiences in both ways. You're pulled to something, you've resisted it, and you have also not resisted it. Now, we will of course discuss the let's just reword this. We will discuss now where you are in your life, which is a certain way of moving through the world where you wish to be all that you can be. And you understand mentally that in order to be your wonderful self, there are certain things that must not pass your lips. You come to understand this, and it's agreeable to you. You've surrendered to this notion, perhaps we would say. So because you are sitting here in this place, we wish to inform you that you're in a great place of strength, not vulnerability. For this is sometimes switched around in your way of thinking. I can't have that. That's not for me. Now, a human being who decides that they want to be their highest self and starts to understand that the ingestion of certain things causes you to live in a certain shame or negative place where you cannot be your highest self because you're balancing it off. Oh, I feel ashamed when I do that, but I'm going to do it. Oh, but I couldn't and I wouldn't. And all the energy goes into the shame part of it. Instead of, oh, what a lovely day it is. I wonder what the birds are singing about today. The focus was on the things that were the emotional responses to the things that you can no longer take within your physical being. Now, we wish you to understand that the more you focus on the birds, the plant, the trees, all of this, rather than the things that are no longer in your life, you will begin to understand that you are a very powerful being walking through the world. For you have decided to be this kind of human. There are many, many humans who just take the feel, the calling, and go and have it. They go, they are pulled to something, and they have the result or the reward of it. But you have decided you're going to be a different sort of human now. So you are thinking that you are remaking yourself, but we wish to remind you that you're already a divine being finding your way through the world. So you have as much right as anyone else to focus on the birds and the trees and all the wondrous, beautiful things that exist around you. You no longer have to deal with the emotions that are attached to things that you are no longer part of your life. That sounds a little bit heavy. Does it sound heavy to you?
I'm not sure if it's heavy. It's just switching your focus,
Yes.
which is, yeah.
Because the focus on the I can't have and the shame, there are a lot of emotions attached to you can't have something. Why? Why can't I have it? Everyone else can. So you see, there's a trigger. There's an argument to be had. So instead of this argument to be had, leave it all there and focus on all of the beautiful things you love. You love the sun, you love the trees, you love the birds. The more that your energy and thoughts go towards what you love, the less time or energy will be left over for this other. It's almost old residue from a life past. We don't mean other lives, we mean this one now. It's an old part of you that is no longer in existence, and it's absolutely fine for you to say, well, it's been fun, but it's time for us to part our ways because I have to go and focus on the sun and the trees and the birds now. It's absolutely fine to say goodbye to a part of yourself without having guilt or remorse attached to leaving them behind. You will leave many parts of yourself behind. As you live through your life, there are many changes that will come to you and you will either decide to make or not to make. So you are sitting in a very powerful place, and it's important for you to understand that you are a lovely human being. And it's not necessary for you to go into the places where you're not welcome any longer because you have decided it is so. You have decided because of the human being you wish to be that you will no longer enter certain places and be involved with certain foods, this kind of thing. So this is exactly refocusing your attention, which is what you stated. It's focusing on the rich, full life that you have. For your life is very full.
I guess a part of me is curious to know, because there are some foods that I can eat sometimes and other times not, and then it's that resistant. Sometimes my body's saying okay, and sometimes it's not, and I know I have that shame. But can you retrain your body to be okay with certain foods?
Well, you can certainly, particularly say this again, the last sentence you put in there.
Can you retrain your body to be okay with certain foods that it resists?
Are you speaking of certain foods that are not, that don't make you your highest self?
I guess I am, yes.
Well, creating a sneaky backward door, just go in the room if you want to. If you want to open the door and go in the room, go in and have whatever you want. There should be no shame attached to either go in or stay out. This is what we are saying here. There's no need to judge yourself for having what you shouldn't, going where you shouldn't. Go if you want to go. It will be much quicker and easier on you to go. Okay, I went, now I'm going to go look at the birds. Or don't go. Go or don't go. But the shame is the part that what tears you down, not what is being turned around within your body. Now, this is important to note at first. This must be dealt with first, the shame. Afterwards, your body will yearn for sunlight and water and certain plants. It will yearn for it. When it's all cleared out of the things that it does not wish to have, but is very busy processing, when it's finished with that, it will be clear and high and you'll be able to hear it just fine. But if you're not at that place, then state where you are, say where you are, and let that be okay. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you're absolutely fine wherever you find yourself. The things that consistently trip you up and everyone else is the emotional attachment to things. It slows you right down. You can't get past it because you argue with it. Shame. Why should I be ashamed? Well, you should be. No, I shouldn't. Yes, I should. No. And you spend all your time doing this. Instead of do what you want to do and say what you're doing. I'm doing it.
thank you.
You are pleased with the results. This is important. This is important for you to remember. You're pleased with the results of your discipline.
Yes.
Let us do namaste.
Mm-hmm. Namaste.
Hi, Erin.
Hello.
I have a funny question. This is my favorite time of year. It's where I live, humans celebrate something called Hallows Eve, Samhain. And so they talk about the veil being thin this time of year between the worlds, between the dead and the living. And I'm curious if this is a time when, do you believe this is the time? Well, no, I think we can always talk to the other side. But is this a time that's easier for us to be in touch with others?
So, in a way, this is a silly question, but we will answer it in another way that you'll find amusing. So this veil you speak of doesn't exist, first of all. Those non-physical that are around you are right there. If you feel your face, there they are. Oh, they're not, there's no veil, there's no space. They are around you because they're energy. And they can be so because you don't notice them. So they'll twirl all around you. So always the energy from the non-physical is around you. Now, this is the funny part of this. If you believe it to be so, it is. Just as we have just similarly spoken about. If you believe this is the moment when you will see non-physical, then it is so. If you believe it's the moment when you will not see physical, it is so. So you see, it's whatever you decide. But there are not any certain times, of course. There are some who have seen non-physical from the moment they open their eyes in their new bodies, when they're little small ones. They're all around with them, non-physical. So it is all times. This is a funny discussion to be having, because you're having a conversation with non-physical and you're asking if the veil is closed, open more on a certain day, and yet here you are. So what does it mean? It's nonsensical, really. Is the veil lower right now? Like what are you doing? Why are you having this conversation with non-physical? It's not lower now. It can be lower anytime you wish it to be. Now, there are times when you are unable to hear or see yourself, so you reach out to others. And there are others who have agreed to be, such as the channeler, have agreed to be middle persons. So the non-physical line up behind them and have messages. Oh, who wants to hear a message? Oh, you do, okay. You come over here, they come over here, and the middle person brings you together. Because there are certain humans who will never see or hear a non-physical being in their whole time, their whole existence, certainly doesn't mean they don't exist, though. So just because you can't hear them or see them, it does not mean they're not there. And it certainly can be any moment you decide. But for some, as we have said, they need the middle person who has become a door opener, really, what do you call them? A doorman, we'll call it that. Open the door, there's some non-physical, and you meet up with a human being. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
But enjoy your time when you believe the veil is thin. This is a very funny expression because you're insinuating you're all under a veil somewhere, and someone on the other side can lift it up and down as if it's magic. Oh, the humans are all in the veil. Put it down. Oh, we opened it. Oh, we closed it. We opened it. You see, it's sort of an odd thing to visualize. So if you believe it's to be so, then enjoy your time when you are able to see and hear non-physical.
Thank you.
All right. Let us do namaste.
Namaste.
Are we complete?
Yes.
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 Do we have time for one more question?
Yes.
Thank you. Just thinking about the comments made earlier about the end, like the higher notes being an angelic realm, and you speaking from the universe of love that is in resonance with the lower frequency range. I just wondered, can you expand a little bit about what that angelic realm is? How is that different? You
Yes.
refer to ascended beings, and that's kind of where I'm going with the question.
That last word is not a thing that we're familiar with. What we mean is certain humans that gather together prefer certain notes. This group responds well to this deep resonating bell. Now, when we say these high notes, we're saying humans call it that. That's not certainly, we don't wish to be disrespectful, but that's not certainly a word that is used because you have a certain notion along with it. You have certain visions and ideas of what these angelic beings look like that humans have devised. So we are not using this word that you've used precisely. We are saying some humans prefer the high note either to increase their vibration or to stop them in their tracks. It's up to the human. We are not saying it's connected to any angels or anything like this. We are saying that humans decide what they prefer. This word we used because it is related to the by human stories about this word, angels.
Very good. Thanks for the clarification.
Let us say one more thing about this. When humans have experiences when they are not completely finished with their human time, they go for a visit and come back, their mind must interpret what is seen, and energy cannot be described as nothing. So it must be described as something, and often humans have this idea, well, it's sort of like this, and they start describing such a thing, and someone else would say, oh, you mean an angel? And they would say, yes, that's what I saw. So when you leave the earth, but come back to it and go to the universe of love, you're trying to explain what you saw, which is energy, with human words and something visually, which is impossible. That's why all the stories are a little bit wonky. You cannot explain what energy looks like, even though other people say, what does it look like? Oh, it's energy, it's invisible. No, it must be more than that. Well, it vibrates like this. Oh, like this, or what? You see? So it's sort of drawn from experiences and stories that are pieced together, so you have some sort of idea. Now, having said that, the real important part of that is that humans go to the universe of love and come back and tell you it exists. That's really the important part. It doesn't matter how they describe energy at all. The important part is this: we're going home and we're coming back here for human life, then we're going home, then we're coming for human life, then we're going home. That's the part that is important. How's that for a very long answer?
Oh, that's great. That's what you've covered that in earlier earlier conversations that we've had personally. Yeah, it's interesting that people see energy then or interpret it in humanoid form rather than just seeing it as a ball or as a, as a wave form. Or
humans prefer something that is human-like, because then they're not considered outcasts. They wish to fit in with society and move amongst humans. So their stories will be a bit in alignment with what humans are able to accept.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. We will conclude our gathering. Are we able to hear a note? Thank you, everybody.
Welcome
Aw.
back.